The astrological ego reaction. What is up, alienARMy? I am Oculus, the alien next door, purveyor of esoteric lore. And on this channel, we discuss everything out of this world. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about astrology, and we're going to go a little bit into how when someone is triggered, an ego trigger reaction, and how that trigger is carried out works in astrology. So this is going to involve the sun sign, the ego, how one typically identifies the self as, and it's also going to go into the Mars sign, which governs sex, aggression, temper, physical exertion, things like that. When someone is talking about like a knee-jerk reaction in any context, what typically is going to happen is that the sun sign is going to be how one instinctively reacts to a third dimensional realm trigger, because the sun sign is governance over I am, the first house, as well as Aries. So no matter what your sun sign is, this is how one is most likely to identify themselves as. And because this identity of the personality is so ingrained into the psyche, they are instinctively going to revert back to this if they are triggered within their third dimensional realm. The sun sign is going to be the immediate step that is taken. So let's say someone is triggered and they have an Aries sun sign. What's going to happen is, because the Aries sun sign is governed by Mars, and Mars is the god of war, what is going to happen is that the sun sign, that Aries placement, is going to react in a Martian type of way. So it's likely to find someone to be very antagonistical. It's likely to want to immediately go to war. It's likely going to immediately want to throw down, so to speak. Whereas let's say someone has a Cancer sun sign, this is naturally governed by the moon and the fourth house, the I feel principle. So if someone's sun sign is triggered, what's going to happen is their ego is going to react in a way where it's going to want to push their feelings forward, because it's cardinal and it's indicative of feelings. So immediately it's going to be like throwing their feelings out there, whether it's in a spiteful way, whether it's angrily, whether it's in a big display of emotions such as crying or something like that. Their ego, if they have a Cancer sun sign, is going to react to a trigger in a way where their feelings are immediately pushed forward. Okay, and you can do this with all of the 12 zodiac signs. The sign that your sun is in is going to be the instinctual reaction to an outside trigger. Now, how that is carried out is going to be expressed by the Mars sign. So we're looking at the sun and Mars together when we're discussing this topic of ego reactions, because viscerally, energetically, someone is going to react the way their sun is, but then what they do afterward is going to be carried out by Mars, because that is indicative of temper and aggression and all of those other Martian qualities. So if someone has, let's say they have a sun in Aquarius, but they have Mars in Scorpio, they might not show any type of outward emotional expression if they're triggered, because that Aquarius sun is not too flashy with emotional displays, but their actions, their assertive gesture after that initial ego reaction by the Aquarius sun, if they have Mars in Scorpio, it's going to be more of an emotional aggression. It's going to come out more in a watch and wait, remember that instance, and then save it for a future time where someone can be blackmailed or someone can have something undercover done to them. So they might not react outwardly immediately if they have a sun sign that is not overly emotionally flashy, such as Aquarius. But if they have a water Mars, such as Scorpio, what's going to happen is that they are going to express their feelings, because Mars is the aggression expression of feelings when it's in a water placement, is going to come out in that Scorpio energy, not the Aquarius energy. So again, we can do this with all of the signs. It just depends on where the Mars is in, because the sun is going to be the initial, like what the fuck? Like they're gonna jump, they're gonna cry, they're gonna scream, they're gonna not show anything. Whatever the sun is gonna do, that's gonna be the initial, like let's say there's a trigger, and the individual is going to immediately instinctually revert to their sun sign characteristics. But in order to carry out what happens next in their physical realm domain, you're going to look at Mars. So when you're thinking about aggression and triggers and emotional reactions and things like that, the most important placements, just from what I have viewed, just from what I have witnessed in others as well as myself, the sun is the initial reaction, and Mars is how anything thereafter is going to be carried out via physical actions. So you know the planets, you know the traits and characteristics of the signs, so you can do your own equations and see what's going on in your own chart or anyone else's chart that you know. But these are the two most important in my viewpoint that you want to look at in terms of 3D triggers. And of course you want to take into consideration the house placements, other aspects, because these are going to have some bearing on the sun sign as well as the Mars sign, because a Mars that is square sun is going to behave a whole lot differently than someone who does not have that aspect. Just like a Mars in Aries is going to carry out their aggression differently than someone that has Mars in Pisces. So even if your sun and Mars are not in any aspect to each other in your chart, you still want to look at the aspects that these two make to any other celestial body in your chart. Because another example would be someone that has their sun conjunction their moon, gonna be entirely different than someone who has their sun conjunction Saturn. Just like someone who has Mars conjunction Venus is going to have an entirely different reaction than someone that has Mars conjunction Uranus. And then you want to look at the house placement and the sign that governs the house that either the sun or Mars are both fall in, and then you want to take a look at the characteristics of that house as well. So just a little tidbit I thought I'd toss out there. Thank you for joining me today on this little stroll through astrology. I am Oculus, the alien next door. We will chit chat again soon.